Okay. Now the first thing I wanted to go over is just a couple of things on the agenda today. So we're going to briefly talk about Al-Rajhi. That's the company that I've been working with. Many of you are familiar with my webinars at this point. I realized I didn't introduce myself this time around, but my name is Noor, and I'm one of the American representatives for Al-Rajhi. Now, after that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the specific packages that you've been seeing throughout and how to find them on Nusuk, basically. So visually how they'll look, and then we'll go ahead and log into, also, sorry, share the codes and information with you. And then we'll go ahead and log into Nusuk and show you, 2, 3 different sample packages and how you would add them to cart. And hopefully, inshallah, that should clarify a lot of things. So Al-Rajhi is one of the companies that is authorized to provide Hajj packages and Hajj services on the Nusuk platform. They've actually been doing this work for over 60 years and have been serving domestic, Saudi Hujjaj for that long. Since last year, the introduction of Nusuk, they've been serving international Hujjaj as well. Last year, they welcomed over 7,000 from Europe and the Americas. And Alhamdulillah, it went really well. They ended up being ranked #1 in Hajj services by the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. And that's a picture over there of Mr. Bandar Al-Raji, the CEO of the company, accepting an award from the ministry at the Hajj and Umrah Expo this past January. So something I think a lot of you will be familiar with at this point, that one of our main missions is to help navigate Nusuk, right? This is a new platform, fairly new. It's just the second year that it's been around. And as they try to change things, refine the system, it takes time, right? And then anytime there's anything new and unfamiliar, there's a learning curve. So hopefully we here at Al-Rajhi can help you navigate Nusuk and be there every step of the way, from creating your accounts to activating your e-wallets, as we have been doing this past 2 months now, and get you to the point where you can get your Hajj package and inshallah join us in June for Hajj. And then I'll go ahead and talk about some of these other things as well later on, but just keep in mind, with our packages, we're trying to give you the most convenient option at the most, the most cost-effective option out of the convenient options. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here. So one of the things that I'm still getting a lot of questions about is that shifting versus non-shifting aspect of packages. As you may be familiar at this point, Al-Rajhi, at least for the USA, is offering 2 non-shifting packages and 1 shifting package. The main difference is in Makkah, if you are in a shifting package, you will be staying in 2 hotels. If you're in a non-shifting package, you're going to stay in 1 hotel. The hotel that we have for the non-shifting package is going to be right next to Haram, walking distance. It's called Makkah Towers. You're going to get out of the lobby. Within 200 feet, you'll be in the on the Haram tiles, like in the Haram courtyard. For the shifting option, you're going to split your time between a hotel in the Haram, which you will go to after Hajj. The name of the hotel is Swiss Makkah. It's within the Clock Tower complex, so very close to Haram as well. And then the second option, where you will be during the days before and during Hajj, is in Azizia, which is a different neighborhood of Makkah, and which would require you to take a shuttle from Azizia to the Haram. Now, one of the things a lot of this stuff is basically a brief overview or recap of what we've been discussing in our Packages 360 webinar. The reason why I wanted to go ahead and review it with you guys is because we've been getting still a lot of questions on it. And then in addition to that, there was some bugs in Nusuk where some of our packages were labeled incorrectly. Things have slowly been getting corrected now, but I just wanted to make sure that I reiterate where our packages lie on the spectrum of the different zones of hotels and stuff like that. So, for example, all of our luxury, hotels are in Zone A, right? And Zone A hotels also are not built the same. So I'll go ahead and show you on a map exactly where our hotels are located and what the different areas within Zone A would look like even. So here you have a view of the Haram area, and this is basically all of Zone A, right? You've got the Haram right there in the middle, and then you've got certain, you can't say neighborhoods, but like areas that are labeled and hotels within those areas. Now, 95% of the hotels you're seeing in this area that are considered within walking distance of the Haram are 5-star, which is why, one of the questions I always get is why is there no premium or standard options for the US packages? And it's because the decision was made to choose hotels that were as close and walking distance from the Haram in order to be the most convenient option for Hajjaj, right? If you are not walking distance, you essentially have to take a shuttle. And while the shuttle can be a very great option during Umrah season and be cost effective, during Hajj season, when you've got 2 million people in the Haram area, in Makkah for Hajj, the logistics of movement of people is very difficult. There's a lot of times where the authorities, in order to manage the crowds, have to close down roads that are closest to the Haram area. So it may even be that your hotel that's in Zone A but further away, not walking distance, or in one of the other zones, would offer a shuttle, but that shuttle isn't actually able to get you to the Haram because of all the road blockages and road blockages set up by the authorities. So to take a look at these areas, you've got Ajid over here on the right. You've got the clock tower here in the middle, Jabal Umar to the left, and Jabal Kaaba to the side of the extension, the furthest left. So I think most people here would be familiar with the clock tower complex. If you've ever been for Umrah before, you can't miss it. And this is essentially the area where both of our hotels are located, right? You've got Swiss Makkah here labeled. That's the hotel that we have for the shifting package. And then we have the Makkah Towers right here. It's not labeled on this map, but it's right here on the left side. These hotels are basically right in front of the main gate of the Haram. This is where you would enter the mataf, or like the main floor of the Haram. Now, the other areas you have here are Ajid. Ajid is going to be uphill, so that keep in mind any hotels that you're staying at in this area, you'll be going uphill. Jabal Umar is bisected or dissected by this line, or this road over here. The hotels on the front side are walking distance. The hotels on the back side here, some of them will have this option of an escalator. It'll still take you about 20 minutes, maybe longer in a crowded time frame in order to make it into the Haram area. But the hotels in the back over here, you're definitely going to have shuttles offered by your hotel. And probably that will be the most convenient way for you to get to the Haram. That walk is long. And then the final area you have here is Jabal Kaaba, which is on the side of the extension, the new extension that they've done. If you've been in the last couple of years, you'll know that the Haram has expanded exponentially. Just getting from this side to the main mataf area can very well take 30, 45 minutes. And then on top of this, this is, Makkah is mountainous. So this is up on a mountain, on a higher elevation as well. So when you're coming back after your Umrah or after praying, you are going uphill. So this is just to give you an idea of what you're looking at in Zone A. And, when you're looking at different hotels in Nusuk, you can have an idea of where they lie here, and why all Zone A hotels essentially are not the same, and just an idea of where Al-Raji hotels are. Okay, so that's just a more rudimentary graphic of the hotels. That's actually Makkah Towers, the hotel that we're using for our luxury packages. And so just keep this in mind when you're going ahead and looking at those packages. last thing is just this bird's eye view of Makkah. You've got here on the right side the neighborhood of Azizia. Azizia is where our shifting package stays and where many shifting packages will stay during the days of Hajj. Now, the reason why Azizia is chosen is because of its proximity to your monastic areas, right? So you can even see it kind of cut off over here. It says Jamarat Aqaba. That's basically where you're doing your stoning, one of the rites of Hajj, and Mina is not too far off from it. So a lot of people like to stay in Azizia because number one, Azizia packages are more cost effective. And then number two, because you're close to Jamarat. So it's very easy for you to do your stoning, walk from Mina, come to Jamarat, do your stoning. And then this is a downhill walk. I should have a zoomed in version of this for you guys, but shouldn't take you more than 15-20 minutes. There's also a shuttle bus available and you can go to your hotel room. You'll have access to it throughout the days of Hajj, and you're able to take a shower in your private room, change your clothes, rest during the day before you go back to Mina. In the days before Hajj, you would have to take a shuttle bus from Azizia to the Haram. Now, it's the same expectation I want to set for everyone, be very transparent that the hotel contracts are set up to provide that shuttle throughout. And inshallah, the first couple of days you'll be there won't be an issue to get to Haram. But in the day or two, especially before Hajj begins, you will have a difficult time with getting the shuttle to drop you in the actual bus depot of Masjid al-Haram. So it'll be likely that you might, the bus will take you as far as it can get and you're going to end up having to walk. So with the Azizia packages, they're a great option. But one thing to consider, if you have somebody who's older or maybe in a wheelchair, it may be a better idea to consider those non-shifting packages. And just actually for me to point out on here, go back a couple steps. Over here, this is the bus depot, right? So all the shuttles will bring you here. And then this is behind Safa Marwa. And you would come here, be dropped off here and have to walk to the front of the masjid if you're trying to get into the mataf area. Of course, if you're just going for prayers and not going for umrah specifically, you can just pray here in the extension or behind Safa Marwa. So now you guys have been seeing Al-Raji packages for a while now. It's the same three basic packages, right? Which is that luxury line 1, which is just staying in Makkah Towers, no additional hotels, and Medina first. Then there's luxury line 2, which is Makkah first, but no shifting. And then there's the one shifting package we have, which is also going to start in Medina. Now, when these get uploaded into Nusuk, based on the flights that are available, we had to split them up. Luxury line 3 basically is split into 3 different options. Luxury line 2 is split into 2 options. Luxury shifting 1 is split into 2 options. I'm going to walk you through each one of those right now and what they look like in Nusuk. Don't worry if you can't capture all the information. Like I said, we're going to be recording this for you. If you'd like, you could screenshot your screen if you want to make sure that you get a specific package. But the other thing I'm going to show you guys is how you can use the links that I've already shared in the WhatsApp group, and we'll reshare to go ahead and directly go to one of these packages versus having to look through and try to filter all the packages that there are on Nusuk right now. So just give me one moment here. Let's just quickly look through the 4 different hotels we'll be using. So regardless of which package you're in, you're going to stay in Valley Al Medina in Medina. All of our packages include a stay in Medina, 3 nights, 4 days. And you will be staying at Valley Al Medina, which is on the same side as the Green Dome. It's right here in the corner in front of Jannat al-Baqi, the cemetery where a lot of the Sahaba are buried. And basically, if you're actually facing the masjid, you can easily see the courtyard and the cemetery from the hotel. Makkah Towers, this is the hotel for our non-shifting packages. Again, extremely close to the Haram. It's right besides the clock tower. That's the super tall one no one I'm sure can miss if they've ever been for Umrah. And what's great about this option that I love is that it doesn't require a double elevator, right? If you stay in any of the clock tower buildings, you'll know, or if you have stayed, that you have to first take a elevator from your hotel room floor to the lobby of your hotel, and then another elevator from your hotel lobby down to the main mall area of the clock tower complex before you're able to walk out. And of course, during busy season, during Salah times, this process can take upwards of 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I was there last Ramadan, and it would sometimes take 30 minutes before a prayer. So Makkah Towers, they're shorter, like, buildings. So, say for example, we're in this building, whichever floor you're in, you're coming down to the lobby and out the door, and you're there within 200 feet into the complex. So alhamdulillah, that was a great option, and I'm excited for our Hajjaj to stay there. For the shifting package, you will be staying in 2 hotels in Makkah, right? Well, I've already showed you what you would be staying in for the Medina option. For the Azizia option, which is that other neighborhood in Makkah, you will be staying at Al-Rifa Al-Azizia. And this is going to kind of give you an idea of how far it is from Jamarat. This is where you do your stoning. And then you have over here this road that basically leads you downhill. This is a downhill walk and would take about 20 minutes if you needed to walk it to get to your hotel, although there is a shuttle available as well. The last option is where you would shift to in these shifting packages. And the name of the hotel is Swiss Makkah, or Swissdale Makkah. It is within the clock tower complex on the left side. So it has one entrance via the mall with the double elevators, as I had mentioned. And then the other option is out through the road that's known as Ajiyat. So that's kind of an idea of all of our packages. Okay, so remember how I said basically we have multiple versions of the same package, but it's the same 3 that you've been seeing. So luxury shifting line 1 is that package where you're going to stay in Rifa in Azizia and Swiss Hotel in Makkah. And we've got 2 versions of it, right? One is with flights that we've already booked via Saudi Airlines or Turkish Airlines, depending on which city you're leaving from. And the other option is open, where you can go ahead in the portal and choose a flight from the city you would like to fly out of. So a lot of people had reached out to me from Detroit, San Francisco, Dallas, Houston, cities that we couldn't serve because either they weren't included in Saudi Airlines, which is our primary partner, or later on when we tried to add flights, we couldn't get enough for the group size. So what we did was we left a couple of our flights in each of our packages open, so that packages open in terms of flight, so you can log in and choose a flight from your city, and you don't have to go directly via one of the hubs that we have here in New York, DC, Los Angeles, and Chicago, which is the 4 cities that we're leaving from. Now, keep in mind, for the people who are leaving from the cities that are included on our list of gateways, you will be going with the group from the time you leave your airport to the time you come back to that US airport. For the people who are going to be choosing flights from the system, most likely you will be flying just with you and your family and meeting your group on the ground in Medina for these luxury shifting packages. But basically overall, because we have this option available for all of our packages, you will be meeting the group in Saudi Arabia. So again, inshallah, I'm going to walk through all of this. I know it's a lot of information. Try to just, for now, take a look at all the images I'm showing you. And if you have any questions, I'll answer them, but also we'll have this recording available as well. So luxury shifting line 1. This is exactly how it's going to look and appear in Nusuk. I'm sure many of you would have already seen it already. What we've done is added the American flag for all the packages that are recommended for the United States and which will have flights available from the United States and have our team associated with them, right? So these are all packages where the tour guides that are coming with me and through our organization will be leading you, inshallah. So the other thing we can now do is give you exact prices, right? I know I've been giving a range so far because we weren't able to reveal exact prices. And as we I've been giving the range throughout was between 12 and 14,000 US dollars. You'll see over here, they're slightly lower than the range I've been giving. Actually, quite a bit lower. The cap with the double is 13,000 US dollars. I wasn't sure if it was going to go into that 1.3, so I'd been giving 14 as the maximum. But basically, if you're in a quad room, this is the pricing you're looking at. Triple is going to be at 12,178, and then almost 13,000 for the double. Now, keep in mind, what you're actually going to see are these Saudi prices. This is just my rough conversion via 3.75 as the conversion rate. What I would recommend, again, as I've been recommending in the e-wallet session that we do, is that definitely contact your bank or your credit card company and ask them, inquire with them about any foreign transaction fees and what their conversion rate for the Saudi riyal is. And, try to do a little bit of comparison before deciding on which one you would use to pay for your package. Now, this luxury shifting line 1 has flights included from New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago. And basically, these are already available there. I'll show you how you would select them, and you would be going. We would have tour guides available on these flights. Oh, the final thing I forgot to mention, New York City, Los Angeles is with Saudi Airlines, Chicago is with Turkish. Saudi Airlines, unfortunately, does not operate out of Chicago. Okay, so then you have 2 luxury shifting line 1. Basically, if you disregard that, 2 for a second, it's the same thing, luxury shifting line 1. We just had to create that second version in order to accommodate the different class of flights. So this option is right now the doubles aren't available. That's what the question mark is about. Inshallah, they should show up viewable in Nusuk. It's unfortunately one of the bugs in Nusuk right now that we've been dealing with. But basically, these pricing does not include the flights, because depending on which city or which flight you choose, this, the amount can vary. Now, the difference here is the pricing that I gave you for luxury shifting line 1. This includes the cost of these flights. So that's why it's slightly higher. And then this one doesn't include the flights, because the idea is you'll go ahead and choose a flight through Musafir. And again, I'll go into these details when I'm showing you Nusuk. Now, again, this is the Medina first. And what we suggest this for is, basically the cities where I've been getting a lot of inquiries from, which is Detroit, Atlanta, Houston, Dallas. The reason why I've included business class here is I have gotten a couple of people ask about upgrading their ticket to business class. The tickets that are group tickets won't have that option, but if you wanted to go ahead and fly business class, you could do so by booking with this package. And let's go ahead and go to the next option. So that was our shifting option, right? We have one shifting option, and then we have 2 non-shifting options. One is a Makkah first, one is a Medina first. So we're going to look at Medina first. And this is called luxury line 1, right? It's the same as the flyer. Now, luxury line 1 has 3 versions. So it'll be luxury line 1, then 2 luxury line 1, same thing like the shifting version, and then 3 luxury line 1. Again, don't get too confused with the codes right this second. Inshallah, all this information will be in our WhatsApp group. The recordings will be there, and I'll show you this in Nusuk. Right now, I'm just trying to give you a bird's eye view and at least show you what the packages look like visually, so that you have an idea of what you're looking for. Okay. So now, again, these are, these were the packages that the range, that I've been giving since day one is 12 to 14 for the shifting, 14 to 17 for the non-shifting. They were able to go ahead and bring these prices a little bit lower. Part of the reason, by the way, why I gave that slightly higher estimate to you guys is that because if you consider the conversion rate, it might be, if the conversion rate on your card or your bank account is slightly worse, this could be slightly higher. Depending on if there's any foreign transaction fees on your card, this would be slightly higher. So it's just something to keep in mind. Now, this package will have direct flights leaving from Washington, D.C. and Chicago. So if you're in one of these two cities, or if you're, near these two cities, this would be a great option. You'll be able to go with the tour guides on your flights, and you'll go to Medina first. So let's take a look at 2 Luxury Line 1. So this is the second version of Luxury Line 1. It's the same Medina first package. It's just the second version of it. And this one is, again, the pricing and everything is the same. And these are including the flights. And the gateway is New York City. So the only difference is if you need a flight from New York City, you would choose 2 Luxury Line 1. If you needed a flight from DC or Chicago, you would choose Luxury Line 1. And then if you needed a flight from any other city or a business class flight, you would choose 3 Luxury Line 1. And that's what this looks like. So again, you will notice the pricing is lower because this is essentially just the price of the hotels. You will need to add the flight on top, and it will basically bring it into the same range as the other 2 options of Luxury Line 1. And then these are just, our suggested cities. The other reason why I actually mentioned these cities is we have murshids in these cities, right? So if we end up with a group of, say, 30, 40 people who want to go from Dallas and are flying, flying on the same flight, I would be happy to go ahead and put a murshid on that flight. It really just depends on how many people end up taking these flights from those cities. I've spoken to a lot of you. I don't know how many of you are from Dallas or Houston, but or Atlanta. But if you end up liking our packages, I would suggest going and contacting us. Inshallah, we'll go ahead and try to make a group from one of these gateways if we can, and have the murshid go with you. Okay, so that was all 3 options for Luxury Line 1. This is the last one, and the last one that's Medina first. What we're looking at last is Luxury Line 2. So this is our option that is Makkah first and starts on the 10th, right? And this package has 2 versions to it in Nusuk. One with flights included, and then one where you can choose your flight as needed. So let's go ahead and take a look. Luxury Line 2, you'll have flights from New York City and Washington, D.C. And these are the pricing is the same for Luxury Line 1 and 2. So you'll notice the pricing is the same. And then you have 2 Luxury Line 2. So that's the second version of the Makkah first package, right? So as far as the pricing goes, you can see it here without the flights included. And then you can see just our recommended gateways, or again, if you're looking for a business class seat, even if you're looking from New York, Chicago, LA, we would recommend going with this option and then choosing the business class seat because the tickets included with the package will not be able to be upgraded. So that's kind of to give you a good idea of the different packages we're offering. And what I'm going to do now is go ahead and start showing you some stuff in Nusuk. So what I'm going to do is actually just stop presenting for a second. Actually, hold on, give me 1 second here. I'm just gonna go off camera. Just give me one moment. I'm going to go ahead and get my Nusuk account logged into. And if you guys want to go ahead and take a second to go ahead and log into your Nusuk account as well, this would be a great time to do it. And once you're done, just sorry, everyone, just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to log into my Nusuk account here, and then I will go ahead and share my screen in a moment. Let me. I'm sorry about that, brothers and sisters. Technical difficulties. One of the things that you'll notice with Nusuk is that if the traffic is um, too high on the website, it may take you a couple of tries to get on there. So just give me 1 second here. Sorry, I didn't realize I was still on mute. I'm already seeing like over 30 questions in the group or in the Q&A. So just inshallah, like I said, I'll try to get to as many of the questions once I go ahead and go through this stuff. But hopefully, inshallah, the goal here is to answer all your questions. So let me go ahead and reshare my screen now that I'm logged into Nusuk. What I'm going to actually also go ahead and do is just go off camera so we can focus on what we have in front of us. So let me close my camera. I hope you guys were able to go ahead and log into your Nusuk accounts. And let's take a look at some options. So I'm actually going to empty my cart for now so that you can take a look. So what you'll see is when you go to your packages dashboard, you're going to get a lot of options, right? It's like literally 244. This was a lot more earlier. So it looks like either Nusuk is doing some work on the packages. So that, by the way, has also been happening. I'm going to show you in a second. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and filter by luxury, right? And then filter by Raji. We're the first company right here. And then you'll be able to see basically all the packages associated with Raji. One thing, brothers and sisters, that I did want to talk about, right? Some of the things that are new about Nusuk this year, right? If you tried for Hajj last year, you'll know that the system was a little bit different. So some of the things to consider that are new this year. Instead of having a specific package with the flight and everything included, I'm sure you've noticed, even with how I explain things, that or if you've been, navigating Nusuk or playing around on Nusuk today, that the package, like the hotel parts, are separate from the flight parts. All the rates I've given you throughout have been with the flights included, but that's just for the ease of you being able to know what the package is about. As far as how it's shown on Nusuk, it's going to be shown separately, and you'll have to go ahead and add that to your cart basically. And one of the primary reasons to do this was to offer more gateways, right? For example, it may not be possible to put together a whole entire group from Denver, Colorado. But if you're in Denver, Colorado, or Orlando, Florida, and you want to fly from your local airport, you'll have the option to do so via one of the options available in the Musafir gate, platform, which I'll talk about in a little bit. The other thing you'll notice is that the packages are not filterable by country, which makes this process a little bit more confusing. I know that, which is why we went ahead and gave you those names of our packages, basically the package codes. What we've also done is given you the URLs. So when you do something like, click on, oh, I just realized I am not sharing the right screen. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure you're able to see the second tab I opened up here. Okay, so if you see, like for example, this is our luxury line 1 package. You'll be able to, that URL I shared earlier in our WhatsApp group is this URL. So technically what you can do is go ahead and first log into your Nusuk account and then copy and paste, this into a secondary browser, and it'll take you directly to the package. So this way you don't have to go through like 400 packages to find the right one that you need. You'll just be able to click on one of those links. Then let me see, what were some of the other things? There are some inaccuracies in Nusuk as far as the package information goes. Unfortunately, our packages were showing up as Zone D up until early this morning. Alhamdulillah, that's been rectified. There are a couple of issues with our hotel in Medina that are still showing inaccurately. Basically, I went ahead and created a list of all the things that I saw, and I've already escalated it to the Raji offices in the kingdom so that they can notify the team at Nusuk to correct those issues. So you may see packages go in and out over the next couple of days while those corrections are being made. The most important thing, actually, I totally forgot to mention, is that keep in mind anything you're putting into your cart right now, it's not like it's first come, first serve as to who puts it in their cart right now. This is just you saving the specific configuration you need in terms of like quad room, triple room, double room, or specific flight you need, and just putting it in your shopping cart ready to go so that when selling starts, it's ready there. It doesn't mean that you'll actually have it ready there. Sorry, it doesn't mean that, you know, you're guaranteed a slot if you get it right now in the shopping cart. The first come, first serve part of this is going to start when they actually open up the packages for purchase. Whoever logs in first and goes ahead and gets the, you know, basically checks out with their cart. And then what's been communicated to us from the team in Saudi is that you'll get about a 3-minute window. There's been some chatter about it being extended to a longer period, but for right now, I'll give you that conservative timeline of 3 minutes to go ahead and check out with whatever you have in your shopping cart. And then let me think, sorry, I have a list of different things I want to make sure I go over with you. Okay. The other thing I wanted to mention was, you know, we have this option of doing the favorite, you know, choosing your favorite package, right? I can heart this package and make this my preferred package. Now, what I've been telling you in our Packages 360 webinar, and what you can see up over here is that you're supposed to be able to select up to 5 packages. Unfortunately, what I've noticed right now is this will happen. Basically, you can only choose 1 package at a time as your preferred package, not save 5 in a list as you're supposed to be able to do. So hopefully this will be another bug that will be rectified by Nusuk prior to selling starting, but just something to consider. So what I would suggest is you can keep 1 in your shopping cart, right? And you can have a different package as your preferred package, hearted. So I would keep 1 package in my shopping cart ready to go, which is like my number 1 choice. And then whatever is like a secondary option that you would like, say, you know, God forbid your first option is sold out by the time you actually log in to purchase your Hajj package, you have that preferred package available ready to go as your secondary option, and it's easier to find. And then of course, you know, that's one of the reasons why we share the links too, so that if for any reason whatever you have in your shopping cart isn't available once selling starts, you're able to go ahead and choose an alternative very quickly. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention on these, sorry, I just want to make sure I get through everything. Oh, the e-wallet stuff. I'm going to talk about that later once you can see the wallet. So let's go ahead and take a look, right? Say we want to do luxury line 2, right? We want to view the details. This pricing is just the starting price, right? So this is the quad price and it doesn't include the flight. I think if you convert it, I don't know the exact price on top of my head, but it'll be like 9,000 US dollars and change. So just keep in mind that this is going to, once you add the flight, it's going to be in that same range that I showed you earlier today and that I've been saying, you know, from day one. And if you notice, it's basically for the shifting, or sorry, this is the luxury package. But hold on, let me take a look. I have the luxury package available right here. For the luxury package, I had been saying 14 to 17, but realistically, it's from 12,500 for a quad up to about 16,000 for a double. So now, once you go ahead and look at this page, you can go through the details, all that sort of stuff. And then what you're going to go ahead and do is scroll all the way down. And, oops, sorry. What you'll notice at the bottom here, right, is that it shows you the option to configure the package. So that's basically you choosing the package. And I actually realize I'm still, okay. Let's see here. So now I just have one person in this account. So I'm only going to be able to add the information for one person. But if you have multiple people in your family, you'll be able to go ahead and basically add the number of beds, the number of people that you have in your party. So let me show, for example, first for this account. So say if you're one person and you don't care, you would like to be in a quad, you'll be able to choose to be in a quad in your Makkah hotel, in your Medina hotel, and then you'll be able to check out, right? At the same time, if you wanted to instead be in a double package, you could just be in a double, right? And that would, you'd be able to move on. Now, the thing to keep in mind is say you're a family of 4. You want to stay all together, you would all have to choose the quadruple option. So you would click the, this won't let me go past 1 because I only have one person on this profile. But if you have 4 people in your family, you'll be able to go ahead and go up to 4. And so you'll have 4 people selected over here, 4 people selected over here. One of the things you'll notice is there's this disclaimer that all bookings include a bed in a shared room. Service providers will distribute pilgrims at a later stage, and they will try to accommodate rooming preferences to the best of their abilities. So basically, this is left to be determined by the service providers, as I have mentioned in our Packages 360 webinar. And so, what I always inform everyone is please make sure if you want to stay together with your party that you choose the package type that reflects your group. So say you're 3 people, you need to choose 3 triple rooms in order to make sure you're in a room together. If you chose if you were say 2 people, 3 people, and 2 brothers and a sister, and you chose the quad option, the 2 brothers would be in a quad room with 2 other brothers, and then the one sister would be in a room with 3 other sisters. You would be separated by gender. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your room configuration. So let's go ahead and just add the options right now to continue. Okay, so they're going to give you a bunch of different options here for additional services that you can add on. The 2 things that I would like to point out is, of course, the sacrifice, the qurbani, which is dahi is basically the government company that does the sacrifices, and so you can go ahead and add that on within Nusuk if you would like to do that. And then the other thing you have here is the wheelchair option, which is included as part of the services by the service provider. You just need to go ahead and indicate and let us know in advance how many people in your party would need a wheelchair. So for example, if you needed, 1 wheelchair, you just go ahead and add that here so that inshallah, we're prepared and know in advance how many wheelchairs you would need. So let's go ahead and continue on. Now you're going to come to the flights page, right? For this flight, this is luxury line 2. You're going to have flights that are provided by us, right? So you're going to have 2 options. Hold on, from DC and 1 option from New York. The reason why you have 2 options for DC is that you have 2 options for New York as well. So you have 4 options total, 2 for New York, 2 for DC. Your international flights are the same. So you'll be on the same flight together from Washington, DC or New York to Jeddah. And on your way back from Jeddah to New York, you'll be on the same, or Jeddah to DC, you'll be on the same flight. The reason why there's 2 options that are being presented for each city is the domestic flight. So the flight from Medina to Jeddah. Instead of having you guys take the shuttle bus, we go ahead and give you a flight included in the cost of this package. So you can go ahead and just choose to be in one of those Medina flights, essentially. Of course, the layover on one is going to be longer than the other. That's basically the reason why we have two, flight options. There weren't enough seats in one of the local flights, so we had to create a second option. And for now, you can go ahead and put, the option with the shorter layover. Over here, it looks like there's a 2 hour, you can even see all the details for the flights, right? This is the DC flight, and it'll show you that you have a 2 hour layover versus the one that's, sorry, a little bit earlier in the day, which has a 3 hour layover. So honestly, neither one of these is too bad. I would imagine most people are trying to get the shorter layover. So depending on what you'd like to do, you can try to do the longer layover to increase your chances of getting the package exactly how you've configured it. Otherwise, you can go ahead and choose that shorter layover option, and just keep in mind, if more people ahead of you have already gone ahead and purchased that specific flight, it may show up sold out for you when you're trying to check out at the time of purchase, and you may have to log back in or go back into the package and revise the flight you've chosen. So these are just some of the factors to consider when you're going through configuring your package. Now, there is this option here, right, to select a custom flight. What we're telling you guys to do, or what we're recommending, is for the ones where we have flights available, excuse me, just go with the suggested flights, since we've got groups, already made with tour guides. The options with where you can choose a customized flight for other cities is that secondary option we gave you. So I will go ahead and after this show you how to do that using Luxury Line, the second version of Luxury Line 2, since we're looking at the Makkah first, the first option. And so just to show you what the rest of this checkout would look like. Oops, sorry, I didn't choose a flight. So you'll have to click that select flight button. And I know I can see people raising their hands and in the Q&A adding their questions. Inshallah, please just be patient. I just want to get through the whole presentation, take it nice and slow, and then I'll go ahead and try to answer your questions. Okay, so on this page, you'll go ahead and just review all your selections. So you'll be able to confirm that you wanted a quad room and everything else. And then just be aware of the cancellation policy that's listed here. And over here, you'll be able to save your configuration, right? Before you even do that, you will be able to see the total price of the package, right? So this 46,642 equates to about a little under 12,500. And you'll notice, so this e-wallet, I've only got 10 real in there. So it'll show you that your balance is not sufficient essentially for what you've purchased, and you'll have to go ahead and top that up. Now, what we recommend is once you have this total price, you go ahead and top up your e-wallet for that amount, because as we've spoken about the way Nusuk works, and the demand we have here in the US and the limited number of visa slots for the US, these packages, the quota for the US will fill quickly. So we want to make sure that your buying time is as short as possible. If your e-wallet is already topped up with the right amount, your configuration is saved, you can just hop in, inshallah, and just check out. Versus if you have to go ahead and top up your e-wallet at that time, number one, there's going to be a lot of heavy traffic at that time, a lot of people trying to top up their e-wallet, which will slow you down. And then on top of that, it'll just slow you down overall in the checkout process, right? The final thing to consider here in terms of e-wallet is just even right now, during the day, I was getting calls where people were like, we're not able to top up our e-wallet. And all the errors that were being mentioned really had to do with just the heavy amount of traffic Nusuk has seen in the last 24 hours since packages have become viewable. So just inshallah, be patient with the system. There's people from all over the world, right, who are trying to go ahead and purchase and view their Hajj packages. Just Nusuk itself has a capacity of 35,000 Hajis, right? And there's like over quadruple the amount of people who register in Nusuk than the number of people who can actually go on Hajj. So it's a lot of people who are logging into the system. So be patient and just um, try uh, try to top up your e-wallet at a time of day where it'll be less, like heavy time wise. So later in the evening should hopefully be a better time. So the last thing you can do is once you're satisfied with everything, you can go ahead and click that save configuration. It'll go ahead and warn you that if you had a customized flight, which this package wouldn't have, you'll have the price saved in there. You'll have to go ahead and um, sorry, the customized flight prices could change basically by the time the reservation system opens up. And then the other thing is it recognizes the fact that my e-wallet is not sufficient to purchase the package that I have. And so it's reminding me to go ahead and top up that e-wallet. And then you're basically set, right? Everything is set up if you look up here by the name of the person and you have your package set to go, eventually you'll be able to check out. Now, if for any reason you decide you want to change the package that you have set up the configuration for, or for any other reason you need to go ahead and change things up, you just click empty cart. It's going to confirm that you want to go ahead and continue deleting the configuration you have. You'd click yes, and it'd go ahead and remove it from your cart. So now I did that just because I want to go ahead and show you what the option looks like for one of the packages where you can choose a flight. 1 second, please. So let's go back to packages. By the way, you have this option to say view preferred package only, and it'll show you the preferred package, right? And if you notice actually, so I checked out right now with luxury line 2. This is 2 luxury line 2, so the option that we didn't have flights associated with, and it didn't matter. I was able to keep this in my preferred package and then have over here luxury line 2 as in my cart. So the idea is, you could do that where you keep one configuration up here and then you keep one preferred package here. So, again, God forbid you're not able to get the package that's in your cart, it gets sold out for any reason, or gets sold out because these packages are expected to sell out quickly, you're able to go ahead and click on the preferred package. So we can click details here. And then one of the things I wanted to mention is if you notice, this is the same picture that I went ahead and showed you in the presentation. But if you'll notice, it has that American flag there. That's how you know it's a US package. And then let's go ahead and do the configuration for this. Okay, I am starting to see Nusuk slow down, so it looks like it's getting busy again. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just going through the same steps again. Over here, I wanted to go ahead and focus on flights, which is why I went through those steps quickly, but of course I can go through them again if we need to. Okay, so this is one of the errors we're seeing. And it's, I guess, good that we're able to see it together. Basically, since this morning, what I've noticed is this feature hasn't been working. It was working last night. So I tried this around maybe 3 a.m. last night and it was working fine. So the assumption is that at this particular moment, you're not able to add that custom flight just because of the heavy amount of traffic that's happening on the website. So basically what happens when you click on this is it takes you to the Musafir platform. Musafir is basically the Arab world's version of like Kayak or Booking or Google Flights, basically a third-party booking website. It's based out of the UAE, but Nusuk has partnered to provide flights through this platform. So for this package, you would be able to go ahead, click over here, go into Musafir and choose a package from Houston, from Dallas. If you wanted one from New York, but with business class, you'll be able to do that here. Just bear with the system. inshallah, they are making updates throughout the day in order to improve the system. And then, of course, going ahead and trying to log in at times where the traffic isn't as heavy. Those are the couple of things you can do to make sure that you're able to go ahead and get this booked and ready before the selling starts. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and empty the cart one more time. And what I'm going to show you is our shifting package real quick. So it'll give you can choose luxury shifting, right? Oops. Or actually, hold on, give me 1 second, brothers and sisters. What I'm going to do is show you how the link works. Okay. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second. Sorry, brothers and sisters, I just wanted to go ahead and open up WhatsApp and get the link. So what you should be able to see now is number one, that I'm in incognito mode. And the reason for that is that one of the things I noticed is sometimes if you're having difficulty logging into Nusuk, what'll make it easier is if you go ahead and go into incognito mode. So just something to see. So I copied and pasted this link from my WhatsApp. And let's go ahead and look at that. Instead of having to go through all those filters and all the 20 different options over here. Oh, these are open from earlier. I'm able, I don't have to go through all the filters. I can just go ahead and go directly to the package. So let's go ahead and take a look at this package. You'll see there's some errors like this still that are happening within Nusuk. That's supposed to say Swiss Makkah. There's different things throughout that are still getting corrected. So you would configure the package. And again, over here, the thing I wanted to mention is you basically have to choose the room configuration for each hotel. So since this one is a shifting package and you're staying in 2 hotels in Makkah, you'll have to go ahead and make sure you add that for each of the hotels. And then you're able to go ahead and continue on, and then you'll see. This is the option where we have flights included. So you'll see the options from from Los Angeles via Saudia. And then we have New York via Saudia. And then we have the final, that's New York via Saudia. And then we've got Turkish for Chicago. So let me see, maybe it'll work this time. Okay, nope, still not working. And the last thing I want to mention, oh, I keep forgetting to choose the flight. The last thing I want to mention is basically if you say have to stop at this, well, this is the point where we were, give me 1 second, please. I'm gonna have to delete this and do it again. Okay. What I wanted to show you is, say you're in you're looking to do one of the packages where you have to book via Musafir, that platform on the back end, and it's not available right now. You can still start configuring your package. You just wouldn't be able to go ahead and complete that process. So let's take a look here. One of the things you'll notice, basically all the European packages have this sort of layout with the Kaaba, and then the US and UK packages are the ones that are the blue, and then you'll have the American flag there too. So this is our package, right? To luxury shifting line 1, and this is the second version because it's the version without the flights. So you'll go ahead and see. You can even also, by the way, take a look at all the details of what each package offers. Like what the Medina stay looks like, Mecca stay, all the different details of the package are available there. And then you're going to go ahead and configure the package. And again, choose 3, right? And so you get through this page. Okay, and now this is one of the options where you'd have to choose a flight through the system. Again, the system isn't available right now. So what you're going to go ahead and do is just leave it here. This will save at this point. So say, for example, we go back to the dashboard, right? This is where you would top up your e-wallet, see your package basically showing up here. And you can see the number of days, you can see Mossam Camp, you can see that it's a shifting package, and you can look at your rooming configuration this way, right? But the other thing that you can do, hold on, is go to packages, go to your cart and go to configure packages, and it will bring you back to flights. So basically, if you click on the shopping cart over here and go to configure package, it'll take you back to whatever the last page was that you were on while you were working on configuring your package. So just one last tidbit on Nusuk. So what I'm going to do now, give me 1 second. Pause this screen one more time. Okay. It's showing this screen, right? Oh. Okay. Sorry about that. Bear with me while I just navigate some of these pages. So I'm going to just have a couple of final words for you guys. But before I get into it, I just want to let you know that the links, the QR codes on your screen are to our WhatsApp group. I'm going to go ahead and have Aisha put them in our WhatsApp in the chat over here on Zoom as well, so that you have that available to you. Give me 1 second here. And so it's a couple of things. Now, I know there's some people who are still having trouble with verifications, still having trouble with getting through, the first steps of Nusuk. So we've already created some YouTube videos that should be helpful to you. I'll go ahead and put the links for that. Then if you've been around for a while, you know that I go ahead and do the open virtual office hours every day. We're going to continue to do that until packages are sold. And we're also trying to go ahead and convert this what do you call presentation into multiple different languages. So hopefully, inshallah, we'll have a Bangla version and a Arabic and Urdu version of this available soon for you guys. And the last thing that I think we're going to make sure we put in the chat is our WhatsApp group. That's where we're going to do all of our real-time updates. So it's super important to stay connected in there with us. I'm sure you saw a lot of different uh, reminders from us in there especially in the last 2 days. So I just want to make sure everyone's aware of those things. The last thing is also, sorry, not the last thing, but the next thing is that I'm going to go ahead and reshare all those links for our packages. So it's a little bit easier for you to navigate through Nusuk. And we'll also go ahead and put up the screen recording, or sorry, the recording of this webinar up later tonight. So if you wanted to later tonight walk through the presentation and see all the different options, you'll be able to go ahead and do so. So what I'm going to do right now actually is stop sharing the screen. Give me 1 second. Because we're all set with that part. Or sorry, stop recording. You need the screen. 1 second here. So